Yo, gamers, it's your boy Gold Demon. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, we're here to talk about the new artifact sets that they announced. What yesterday that I just conveniently skipped over. I may or may not have been asleep. Vanilla, what did I tell you about saying hi to YouTube? You guys need to subscribe before I get mad at my chat again. All right, and follow me on Twitch. Anywho, so with the first set, Golden Troupe, it increases your elemental skill damage by 20 for the 2-piece, and the 4-piece increases it up to a maximum of 70%, which is huge, right? 70% skill damage can be used on a lot of characters. In other sets, I don't have no idea how to say it, Hunter, it increases normal charge attack damage, as well as whenever your HP changes, increases or decreases, you get 12% crit rate for 5 seconds, 3 stacks. So both of these are pretty interesting. At first glance, the Hunter set looks kind of mid because of how niche it is, but it actually is pretty good because this will allow you to get better crit rate or better crit stats overall for certain characters and actually increase your damage. So this can actually be a pretty good set for a wide variety of characters in terms of different investment levels, right? It's gonna matter more not only on the low end but at the very high end because characters like Zhao, for example, who get a constant HP decrease, can do either similar terms of damage or even more with a set like this, despite the 2-piece not being ideal. And then the Golden Troop, we're finally getting like a best in slot set for characters like Fischl, which is huge. To start with Golden Troop, I just want to go over all the characters real quickly that are really going to use it. Ideally. So again, I'm going to just go over this quick. Comment potato because what the hell are you saying? What are you saying? I'm just gonna ignore chat. I have no idea. But anyways, our Lord and Savior Fischl is finally getting the buff that she needed. Cause she definitely needed it, guys, and she wasn't already SS tier. Where is she? Wow, I cannot see. There she is. Yeah. Fischl, 4-piece Golden Troop. This is arguably her best set. The only other set that I think compares to this is probably Thundering Fury, if you're on an aggravate team, or on every other team, Tenacity the Millith, right? That's huge. Miko, this is potentially Miko's best set. Now, I don't know how much the damage percent will matter versus something like Gilded or Emblem on her, because both of those contribute highly to her damage. But this is a massive amount of skill damage, and again, it's prioritized for the damage buff off field, right? Which is typical of Miko. She does have a pretty long damage rotation, so you will lose this buff a few times, like during your rotation, like you'll lose the buff, but you'll still have pretty good uptime overall for the buff. But keep that in mind, it's not perfect. Albedo. Potentially, I don't know the math. This could be better, or at least more consistent than Husk. Now, Husk I think might be better in the long term because it gives you defense and geo damage. I don't actually know the math, but Albedo can actually use this as a 4-piece pretty well. Who else off the top of my head? There's not a lot of characters that prioritize skill damage, especially off field, right? It's a pretty niche set. Off the top of my head, I cannot really think of anyone. Uh, I mean, technically, Jinan can use it, but that's like any shield user. So, like, if we're being technical, right, you could throw Jinan up there. You could throw up. Where's Layla? I don't know where Layla is. But yeah, you could throw Layla up there. Technically, Zhongli. But I mean, who's really using any of these characters for skill damage, right? Where's like technically Kokomi, right? These are all technically. It's not that I would use any of these. Uh, Dia, right? Faruzan. This one actually could be Faruzan's best set by far, and I'll get into that in a second. But I just want to get a couple more characters up there for a list that could potentially use the 4-piece. Anyone else? Like, no. No. Well, I mean, this one's debatable. All right. Yeah, I think that is every character that possibly could use the 4-piece. And we're not going to talk about the 2-piece really because it's not important. I just put it up there for sake of putting it up there, to be honest with you. So yeah, that's like every character that mainly prioritizes skill damage. So to go over them real quickly, right? Fischl, we already know. Same with Albedo, Miko. Janine's a weird one because Janine doesn't prioritize her skill damage. She's mainly a physical carry, but technically you could use this on her, or you could just do the 2-piece for like a little extra damage. It's not something I would really do, so I'd probably just put her in the not at all, right? But again, the DOT is a part of her kit, not really using it, but it's possible, right? I'm not gonna blame you for doing it, but you're still wrong, right? Uh, Zhongli, I wouldn't do it, even though he does do a lot of his skill. Not worth it. Kokomi, guys, she's a healer. What did you even think? Now, Dia is an interesting character to put this on, as if you are a C0 Dia, this set could potentially be her best set for a Ganyu melt team, right? Which is cool, right? You get your Dia damage up there all the way. It's actually way better than her other set that I guess her other set, Varksha's Glow or whatever the hell, that gives you up to 50% skill damage and 20% HP. This is 70% skill damage, right? And plus, attack is more valuable to her in the first place. That set only really matters once you get to like C4 on her. So for C0 Diaz, this is probably your best set just straight up, because you're not doing damage with her ultimate anyways. So who really cares? Farzan. So if you have listen, keep this in mind for any Farzan players. Only do this if you have the C6. Because if you know how her C6 works, it fires off additional elemental skill projectiles, right? I, in fact, do have the C6. I'm not going to, like, go and find a place to use it. I mean, I could. But it actually does fire off additional elemental skill projectiles, right? Pressurized collapse effects. This could potentially be really good because, again, pressurized collapse is from her E skill. So this could be her best set, giving her C6 additional 70% damage scaling, off field for you. That can be huge. Below C6, though, don't even touch it on her, right? Currently, I would still say Tenacity is probably her best set for support reasons, but do keep in mind that this set potentially could give her a certain amount of extra damage. Layla's not worth doing. Because you also have Tenacity, and Layla is perfect for Tenacity. It's that simple. I wouldn't touch it on Layla. Nahida. If Nahida isn't your sole Dendro, yes, it could work, because that is all of her damage. All of Nahida's damage is from the skill. So you could get very impressive damage off of Nahida if you put this on her. However, I'm going to recommend against it because she typically is the priority Dendro in a team, and that you're going to be using Deepwood Memories. There's pretty much zero reason to take this off of her, but considering how her constellation and everything works, right, with getting a massive amount of extra like damage percents and everything like that, it could be interesting for main DPS Nahida. But if you're not like a C6 Nahida, I wouldn't even touch it. But that's just a maybe. Now for Punchy Boy, because I can't say his name right. This is the last character on the set. It's actually really good on him, as long as you swap off a field, right? Because what you need to keep in mind is that most of his damage comes from his skill, right? And so getting a 70% skill bonus if you quick swap on him on field and just hit it once, and then you're gone, huge, right? Because that's going to be, 70% extra damage you're getting on your punch. That can be fantastic. Otherwise, the set does nothing for him, which is like, he has other options that are arguably better than this right now already that we got recently, but it could be really good if you have a specific rotation with like Yelan and, you just juice all your damage percent. So like all you funny, big damage screenshot players are going to really like this on him because you're going to hit like, what? You're already hitting like 200k, so you probably hit like a 300k punch with him if you use that. So it could be good, but it's not ideal. But keep in mind, he technically can use the 4-piece. So for the other set, the HP change set. This one is weird because, as I said, it really depends on the character on how good this will be. But, oh, right, I forgot, different tab. But in order to, I guess, explain this a little bit more, it's not super good on characters like Hu Tao, right? It's terrible on her because Hu Tao gets the 1 HP loss, per use, right, of her E skill. But if she were to, well, no, sorry, I'm gonna get that wrong. Hu Tao, you could use the 2-piece. I wouldn't use the 4 piece because she only gets the one stack at 12 crit. Zhao technically could use it. Now, I'm not sure if it's his best set over Vermilion because Vermilion gives him a ton of attack percents, but this is actually a competitive set for Zhao because he has a consistent HP loss, right? Very good. This set will also be good for Lenny, right? He is on here, so you can put that on him, be really good. This set can be really good on Lynette, right? To increase your damage even more, you know? And it's really only going to matter for characters that their HP changes a lot. So, for example, Dia. If you have a high constellation Dia above C4, this actually could be a very good set for her. If I knew where she was, there she is. Those 4 characters could be good for. Just about everyone else, though, it is utterly useless because either they don't get an HP change in their kit, or you're relying on. Well, actually, no, you're just not getting it at all, right? Any character that heals technically could benefit from it, but keep in mind, it's like I it's conditional, right? So it doesn't work on if you have like Zhongli on the team, you're never gonna proc this, right? So yeah, it's pretty strange. Um, it's gonna depend on who you run. Just like the other set that we have that's based on HP, like being hit. If you run someone like Zhongli, you're never gonna proc it, right? Because Zhongli is gonna completely make you invulnerable to damage. So basically, everyone else is useless. I can't really think of any other character that you could even use this on. The 2 piece, sure. Hell, you could do the 2 piece for just about every character, right? Gon, you can use the 2 piece, right? I don't know. Amber could use the 2 piece. The Luke can use it, right? You can use the 2 piece on like every single character that does it. Kachin can use the 2 piece, you know. Uh, what's her name? Klee, right? Ning Wang. Like it's usable on so many characters. Noelle technically, although the other set's better than her, so ignore that. Tartaglia, right? But no one else in the game currently, I guess, has built-in HP change except for like these 4 characters, right? Yes, Yoimiya could also use the 2 piece, but again, none of these are better than what they already have. Keep that in mind. This will not be better than what they already have, unless of course they have built-in HP change in their kit, like these people on top, right? It's competitive for both Dia and Zhao, and it's arguably best in slot for these 2 characters. And I only say that for Lynette when she's at C6, by the way. Not base. You saw in the live stream, she does not have Animo Infusion. I'm just saying that for example. But yeah, that's really about it. I think these sets are pretty solid for some characters, but overall they're kind of mid. Uh, the thing is that typically these sets have a relation to the Archon, so perhaps one of these two are going to be ideal for the Archon and what she wants to do for your characters. So if you are farming for, I guess, if you want to upgrade your official, sure, I can understand that. And if you want to get a set for Lenny, sure. But otherwise, I don't really think the set's worth farming. It's hard for me to recommend it when it's as conditional as it is. What about Nilu? Um, Nilu is entirely about Bloom. So unless you are doing a like crit Nilu, I wouldn't run this. If you're like a C6 Nilu though, you could actually use this. But before then it's hard to say because like she doesn't build crit unless you are going C6, right? I mean, I guess there is Vape Nilu, but then she's not doing any self damage. So you come into an issue there. And again, shielders completely invalidate this set, mind you, right? Because they're just gonna block all incoming damage. Right. Could be decent for Kokomi on Bloom. Uh yeah, but she's not critting. I mean, you could use the 2 piece, sure, but otherwise she's not critting, right? But yeah, I don't know how I feel about these sets. I think they're all right. They're really good for certain characters and probably some niche setups. And again, this crit one is giving you a whopping that's 36 CV, right? No, sorry, that's 36 crit rate. That's like 60. Sorry, that's 72 CV. That is really, really strong for a lot of characters if they can actually benefit from it, right? So if we potentially, again, let's say the Archon drains your own HP, this could be the best set for like every character. You know what I mean? It could be like a new emblem. Anyone who doesn't use emblem just uses that set, right? So yeah, we'll see what happens in the future, but right now I don't really see these sets making too much of a splash apart from the skill damage one being quite useful. But yeah, that's it for me for today. I'll see you guys later, and who knows, maybe someone can disprove me with math in the comment section about, hey, it's actually the best in slot for all these characters, because I'm sure it is, but right now I don't really see it. But yeah, peace, and check me out on Twitch.